I mean, we're getting better. We're getting better. We did a nice job, especially our starters, and getting out there and wearing them down. I thought everybody I put in contributed, and that was a plus. Alexa's, I'm hoping to play her this weekend. She's still got some pain, and I didn't want to play her for the last 3 minutes and mess it up, and she'd be sore for this weekend. So I'm hoping. But her, I'm looking at maybe an end-of-the-month timeline for her to be truly ready to play. We pushed it a little bit. It didn't work. But everybody else, I thought, did a really good job. And, some of the shots might not have fallen for some of them, but to have the balanced scoring, the rebounding, some of the things, a little bit too many fouls, way too many turnovers. And I told them in the locker room, I think they're just trying to do too much, find each other. And I like the fact that they're finding each other, but I think they're just trying to do a little bit too much. And we'll clean those up. But it's not, I don't know, they're not terrible turnovers. We just have to clean them up.
Did you attribute that to it's just early in the season, or you got a new group, or they're anxious?
Aside from Charisse, and Charisse is just trying to do too much, I think some of them are coming from some of our younger players. We did have 21 assists, but some of our freshmen are just, I think, trying to do a little bit too much. You got Jayza in there with 2, Jada in there with 2, Janin with 3. And like I said, Charisse will calm down a little bit. She had 3 assists, but and her shot just wasn't falling tonight. But I just think it's early. We're still running motion, so we're trying to find each other. And some of them was we're just rushing things, I think, a little bit. She came out strong tonight. Emily's a coach's kid, and she's just so doggone smart. And Emily's probably the slowest player we got, and I don't mean that in a bad way. And we tease her all the time. But you know what? I'll be darned if she gets to the right spot at the right time. She still plays defense and trusts her help, and she knows when to shoot the basketball, and she's a very good shooter. Her mom's a very good coach. So I just like where Emily's at. She learns every day, and she knows when she makes mistakes, and she doesn't make the same mistakes over and over again. And that's what I like about Emily.
Coach, 59% of the line at the line, but you guys win by 40. You're going to make them run Thanksgiving sprints?
Yes. If they're not 75% or above, they're going to run sprints. So, what were we, 17 for 29? What is that, 8 sprints? So is that my math right there? 12 sprints. So that's 12 sprints tomorrow. It'll be good for Turkey Day, but they've got to hit free throw. This just makes no sense. And it's 75% Sacramento State, 59%. I mean, it doesn't make any sense not to shoot free throws. And we shoot them every day, and we shoot a ton. So, yeah, they'll get in a little bit better shape.
Coach, could you also talk about this team is just so deep down low. Khadijah gets 2 quick fouls, and then it doesn't seem to phase you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't need to take, before I'd have to take chances. I mean, I've taken chances with kids in the past who had 3 first-half fouls when we didn't run quarters, and I don't have to do that anymore. I thought Josie came in and did a great job. And she's a kid that's got kind of limited playing time, but I saw some things against Sacramento State. I pulled her early, and she just did a phenomenal job. And, and then Whitney comes in, and Jayza comes in, although she fouled out. Those 2 did a good job. And, I'll have Alexa coming in here soon. But that's the depth of our post, and they did a nice job.
How about Jayza just in particular? She hit fouls out, but she almost had double-double.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you want to either kill that kid or praise her. No, you know what? She's a great kid. Bless her heart. She was in a car accident on the freeway yesterday. Pretty minor, but she got rear-ended when someone cut her off and took off, and it was about a 4-car chain reaction. So I was a little worried about her back and her neck, and she got treatment last night. She got treatment this morning. She's a little shaken up, obviously, with a freshman, but, Jayza's going to be just fine. She'll learn on the foul. But some of them are aggressive fouls, and you don't want to take that away from her, and I won't. But I really like where the kid's head's at right now. She's going to do some really good things. Yeah. I think, again, we had to have a game like New Mexico State for us to go, look, you guys, we've got a lot to learn or whatever It was. You know, you don't want too many of those games, but Bryce and Linnea really took that game to heart. I think they're two fantastic point guards. I think they run this team very, very well. And if you looked at two really difficult games in Sacramento State and Nicholls State, who likes transition, our point guards have taken over and run this team, and I think it's a great thing. Good. Thanks, you guys, for coming.